I would like to get. I started, when I first decided to buy some walnut and stuff, and I called the lumber yard, and the guy was pretty. He wasn't a very good representative of the hardwood association guy, and he basically told me, he says, "Well, call me back when you know what's going on in the woodworking world." And it really struck me. So I have made it an effort. We buy wood in rough wood in quarters. We buy 4-quarter, 8-quarter, 6-quarter, 5-quarter.
Right.
And there, if you want to know, we buy a lot of hardwood from Peterman Lumber in Fontana, and there's always this question of grade and quality. Is FAS better than number one common? No, it's exactly the same wood. It's just the amount of wood you can get out of a stick. If you really want to understand about how to buy hardwood like what we buy, go to the AmericanHardwood.org, and they will tell you exactly how they grade the wood, mostly American species. And if you have questions on the structural amount, the structural capabilities of wood, the wood database, just Google wood database, and they have everything from Jinka hardness to modulus of
elongation and tensile strength.
yeah. So a lot of this stuff we kind of intuitively know it, but there is huge amounts of data on the internet that you can get. The AmericanHardwood.org, you can actually download their deal and make sure you can understand what it is you're buying.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you buy your wood, do you get select or better?
Okay, that
I don't get number
okay.
one or common.
Okay, not there. FAS is first and seconds. Number one common, number two common, etc., etc.
Right.
If you have a number two common and FAS board, you cut out a piece that's 3 inches by 3 feet, and you take the number one common, the same size. It's exactly the same wood. It's just out of the FAS board, you can get longer and wider cuts out of it without defects.
Right, more usable wood, right.
You can get more square footage of clear wood. And
right.
go to the AmericanHardwood.org and you'll see it's fascinating because they'll have a 6-foot board and say this is FAS, and then they'll show how they can cut it. And then they have a 6-foot or 8-foot number one common board, and they block out the usable wood in it. And then there's 87.5% minimum, or you can buy a board, and if it's number one common, I think it's 87% of the board has to be usable. I mean, it's crazy, the detail that they have it worked out to. It's to our benefit to know that stuff, especially when you're making money, to know what you're buying. No need to buy FAS if you're making 3-foot boxes. You can get the same quality of wood by a number two common. In fact, when I first started, I'd only buy number two common. So that's my, I want to know everything there is to know, and it's on the internet now. Yep. It took me a long time to figure all this other stuff out before the internet. Okay?
Yeah. So there's some new people, I think, the first time here. Ryan, do you have any comments, or what's your what do you think of our workshop here?
It's really good. I'm enjoying it. So I'm pretty much a newbie. My wife actually forwarded me the link to sign up for the videos. So I mean, I don't want to take up all your time, but short story is that I do drywall finish, painting, and some staining for work. So I'm a little bit familiar with woodworking and carpentry. And then my oldest son is 18, and he's taken like building trades all 4 years of high school. So we kind of wanted to get into it as a hobby, and see where it goes from there. So we have some basic tools, and we are like step one. But I figure the more I surround myself with smart people, maybe some of it will sink in.
I don't know about smart, but we are dedicated.
Yeah, dedicated. They definitely know what they're doing here. So.
And just real quick, I was a furniture maker.